when I talked to Sneako and I was like, yo, when I spend time with my niece, it's one of my greatest experiences in life, and he couldn't get it. I understood why it was hard for him to get it. He just kept talking about, like, what about your balls, man? Like, you're letting your balls go, and what you talking about your niece? You guys talking about your wife, you want to buddy up on the couch and cuddle? I'm like, is that really how you view deepening your bond with your wife or your girlfriend? It's like you guys cuddle and you watch a movie, but that's his idea of what I was saying, because he just doesn't get it.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the experience, so like it makes sense, right?
There's some of his earlier videos, he seemed smart and like with it, and he was doing objective stuff that I think a lot of people would not do at the age he was doing it. Like, they're 15 or 16-year-olds are like doing political analysis of if Iran should defend itself against an attack from Israel or something like that. Like
gay marriage and everything while playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. I don't think people did that. So honestly, I'm going to say something. I've met Sneako and talked with him. I think he's smart enough to do a really smart grift and get away with it. And I think he might be doing that.
I don't think he's doing it.
No.
I think he could.
I think
that he went so far being original and like not really, I don't want to say not going anywhere, but like he's blown up as a result of this. I think
what has happened is legitimately the whole COVID era has like just destroyed people's minds. I shouldn't say destroyed people's minds, but like it's brought about so much doubt and so much stuff because of honest mistakes made by the government and officials and like all of the people in that arena that are like capitalizing on said mistakes. Like the COVID changed a lot of stuff societally, I think, in terms of like trust in the government and like normal messaging and everything.
I suppose it's possible. When I say like I think he's like grifting and doesn't believe it, that's like me being so. He probably thinks it's like me being like an asshole. That's actually like the biggest compliment I could give him.
We were hanging out with him personally. I had lunch with him yesterday. Like he's the same Austrian and Austrian. It's not like when we turned it off, he's like, yeah, man, like I love women and like that blue pill stuff is so cool and I hate that I have to do that. Like he seems pretty consistent through and through.
Yeah, but that's really selling it.
That's part of the grift. He's like,
no, unironically,
it's like we're watching The Prestige.
I mean, what would happen if after, like, imagine it with John Zerka, if after stream he was like, come on, guys, I know the world around. I'm just capping. Like that would be disastrous for. I know that John Zerka doesn't think the world is flat.
I
know that he doesn't.
He might.
I think you underestimate.
You think I underestimate how stupid some of these people are?
Not
either stupid. I don't even think it's stupid. Here's the thing. I can track exactly how Sneako went from point A to point B. I know it because that's why they have a phenomenon called the red pill rage. It's literally something that a lot of dudes go through, where they start to see changes in the world, they start to understand it a little better, and they're angry because, truth be told, a lot of the stuff that we're told is the right way to do stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So when I hear them talk about this stuff, I can understand why Sneako feels the way that he does. I'm not mad at it. I've even felt some of it in regards to like relationships and dating. So all this to say, I don't think it's a grift. One, because I've seen him before. I've known him before and I've seen him now. And the progression makes sense. It's just so unfortunate because I think people like the way he was before so much and they are kind of just coping with the change that they saw. So they want to believe it's all an act, but it's just cope. People really feel the way that he does and people resonate. And I will say this, I don't think it's because of he sees the success that he's doing all this stuff. I think it's a feedback loop. He starts to change. He notices a giant response from people that's positive. He's getting more money. People are tuning in way more. He's getting way more views. So he's convinced himself in his mind, oh, I must be saying the right things because I'm getting such a good outcome.
It's called audience capture.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, there's a name for it because what happens is once you hit into that feedback loop, it's like addicting. And you're like, well, yeah, I'm definitely like telling truth. Like people are vibing with what I'm saying. Like, it's making sense. And yeah, you kind of, even without trying to, you're not like consciously like, I'm just going to make my audience happy. But that's kind of sort of what almost ends up happening. But
yeah. And it's addictive too. Like when people are messaging you like, yo, you're the truth, man, you preaching, oh man, never stop, and all these people are sending you money. It's like, how would you not start to believe that what you're saying is right?
Especially at 23, 24 years old.
Yeah. I would not have had the mental faculties to be able to resist the temptation of like people's positive affirmation in regards to how it would influence me going forward at that age. There's no way I would have. Yeah. So that's why I'm very sympathetic to like his change in a way. And people can say whatever they want. Like there's a bunch of people comments be like, well, at 23, I knew better. You think you knew better because you're not online living your entire life better.
Yeah, that's like guys that are like, well, if I was a celebrity, I'd never cheat on my wife. for you to cheat is like a marathon. You got to do so much work to do it. These guys are getting women thrown at them constantly. You don't know what you would do in that position, right? Much the same that like if you had a million people telling you like God's gift to man, right? That you're online, everybody's gassing you up on everything you say and believe. Like, yeah, you don't know how that would affect you. That can have insane effects on a person's development. If I would have started streaming at like 17, like some of these people do, dude, I would have been a much worse person growing up. Holy to have all of those insane thoughts reinforced while I'm at like the most egotistical stage of my life, it would have been over for me.
Bro, if I would have had all this clout and this fame at the time when I was really out here in these streets, I'd have AIDS.
Sure.
I'd have every other son. I would have had, you know, that whole Magic Johnson parties? Yeah, that's what happens when you get fame and everything you want so early. You start doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah. And you know what I mean? You get AIDS because, I mean, you're not going to get all this fame and money so you could have say, are you crazy? I'm going to get the baddest. I'm going to line them up. I'm going to make them all stand beside the bed because they all want my clout money. And I'm going to get rid of every single fantasy. I'm going to do every hedonistic behavior I could do. And then anything that gets me that behavior, that gets me the AIDS that I wanted so badly, I'm going to do it again.
Some guy keeps drawing me Sneako comments and emailing it to me. They're pretty funny.
I saw a couple of those. They were pretty funny.
He got pretty mad.
You know, he's a smart young man. You know, he's just a little confused.
He is smart. He is confused. But I mean, like, smart people could fall for cults, so that's where he's at. Rip.
It does make me curious because I've seen a couple of his older videos, even where he's like a little kid playing Call of Duty, and it's like, wow, this kid has a stunning amount of insight into like the human psyche and like the human experience, and like I wouldn't expect this from a little kid. And now I listen to him, and it's like, wow, this guy is just boilerplate internet personality selling the idea, 101. Like, what happened?
He probably has like, I think he just has like a mindset. Here's something that I noticed. This is going to sound mean. And actually, I don't give a him. I actually don't care about Sneako anymore, so him. He can think it's mean. I think that Sneako's problem is, I think that Sneako, he wants to present himself as like a very alpha type character, but I think he's actually like a really good follower or submissive type character. I don't know if you've noticed this, but any problem that I've had with him personally, and when you watch him, what Sneako is always doing is he's always looking to the top man in the room, and then he's becoming a clone, essentially, of that person. If you look at a lot of the issues that I've had with Sneako, it's usually been him cloning himself off of the top man in the room and then echoing whatever that guy says about me. So when Sneako was in the room with Muslim people, talking about how important their religion was, he was echoing attacks against me about like making fun of Islam. When Sneako was in the room with Zerka making fun of my kid in his car the day before, the next day Sneako is making fun of me and my son because he's looking to Zerka for guidance. He did the same with Patrice O'Neill when it came to trying the open relationship stuff. He looked at Patrice, he copied him, and he did it. He did the same with Fresh and Fit when it came to like getting initially into the red pill stuff and copying their relationship styles. He looks to them for that. I think that he has kind of like a very follower mindset. And if there's no horrible corrupting influences in his life, it's good. But if there's somebody around him that really wants to turn him or convert him, like he's very attracted to like ideologies or cult-like people. I think he would follow them to the end of the earth. Yeah.
How much of that do you think is intentional, and how much do you think is like subconscious?
I don't like the word subconscious. I don't think it's intentional. I think people just have like different personality styles, basically.
Or are you suggesting, Mindwaves, that he's doing this for audience capture or something like that, and that secretly he's like, I don't agree with this guy, but I'm just going to get their audience or something like that?
Well, yeah, I'm wondering how much of it is strategic, right? To just like yes man
No, I don't think any of it is like, I don't think he does it for clout or strategic reasons. I think he genuinely will look up to, if there's a man in a room that he respects, he'll look up to that person and begin to emulate them very quickly. Yeah.
You think there's some psychoanalytic reasons that he like wants acceptance and...
It's probably relatively normal for a lot of people, I would imagine. I just see it more with him than anybody else. The funniest part where you can see this, I noticed this, somebody pointed this out in a comment, I noticed this, is that Sneako tries very hard like to hold frame and not even laugh sometimes in podcasts. I misheard somebody when they made a Weinstein joke, and then I made like an Epstein joke, and for some reason everybody started laughing, and you could see that Sneako wanted to, but he held himself and didn't do it. And like I can only think that he's thinking that like laughing is kind of like beta, so he needs to like hold frame. But it's like, at that point, we're at like such ridiculous caricatures of masculinity that it's like, Jesus, yeah. But I think he's just doing it because that's,
My morality, my decisions, what I do. All they do is criticize my morality, my decisions, what I do. So if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna constantly do that, say I'm not gonna be able to get married, say that I'm a fake Muslim, say that I'm drinking, say that I'm a liar, all this stuff. What the is is going on with your life? I called out Aiden today too. Like, I could be drinking and gambling. I'm in the gym. I'm actually doing the self-improvement thing. I'm actually quitting things. I'm actually praying. Destiny, I'm actually working on becoming the best man I could possibly be so I can raise a family, so I can get married. These things are extremely important to me. So if you're going to criticize that, what are you doing? What else is going on? Yeah, so there's...
The issue with, like, and I understand what... hold on, I'm trying to treat him like this is an intellectual argument and not just like an emotional outburst. But it's just an emotional outburst. I think the reason why I'm so critical of Sneako is because he uses and abuses the people in his life, and then he does it in like haram ways because he just wants credit. So for instance, Sneako wants to get all the credit from being Muslim. He wants to get all the social validation and all that from being pure and chaste and holy or whatever. Why does he still have girls on his stream? Why is he in the background with 2 girls laying on him making out? The answer is because he still desperately craves that validation that he gets from other men when women are validating him in the space, right? You don't need to do that. There's no point. If you really truly believed about the Muslim, if you really truly believe about like that, why are you trying to show off women? That's not, is it halal? That's not holy. That's not chaste. That's not good, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's just like if somebody makes mistakes, like here's something that so this is what I don't like. Here's what I don't give Sneako for. And I've heard these rumors a lot, and apparently Aiden repeats them. I hear a lot that Sneako gets caught slipping when he's out, when he's like drinking and I don't know if that's true or not. But also like if he legitimately like makes a mistake and has a drink and he's off stream or something, you know what? Nobody's perfect. I wouldn't expect Sneako to be perfect. The issue I have is when he's desperately trying to collect social clout from both sides of an issue. You can't do that. And I don't think anybody should abide that. I think you should be called out for that. If you want to be Muslim and you want to be holy and not haram and all that, then fine. But don't brag or show off. Don't brag or show off like girls on your stream. Like that's haram. That's not good. Yeah, it's just not good. And then having friends close by in your life who are also doing that, like having Zerka, like trashing women in front of you and all that. That's another thing that will always bother me so much. And again, nope, hold on, sorry. I was going to qualify that. I won't qualify that. A good conservative man, Melina actually said this perfectly to the MLD guy. Hey, you said you're a high value man. Why are you on women? Why are you calling women fat? If you're a good conservative man, you respect women, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't be in the presence of somebody. You wouldn't have a close friend like that who's just constantly degrading and screaming at women and calling them and joking about 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds constantly doing that over and over and over and over again without ever calling him out or holding him to task. And he doesn't. Sneako will never call Zerka out because Zerka is the strong man in the room that he's looking to emulate, that he's like imprinted on right now. But like, why would you let him get away with that over and over and over again? I don't know why. Yeah, well, I know why. And the reason why is because like there's not very much conviction behind this particular belief system.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.